Hi, Michelle. How are you?
Hi, Natalie. Good, and you?
I am so excited to start the weekly live interviews with you. This is our first, and this is
Oh,
going to
wow.
happen every week. So I'm really honored that you chose to be the first one to share your story with us. And I'm going to explain a little bit about the purpose of those weekly live interviews because I see every day entrepreneurs that are actually working on their business and shifting their mindsets and working hard to align the business to their born to do. And sometimes we see magic.
Hmm.
Sometimes we see something that happens, and I always say, wow, if people could see that, if other entrepreneurs could be witness to this, they would say, oh, okay, so it's working. So let me
Hmm.
also jump, or let me also, come out of my comfort zone. And so that's the reason why I'm starting those weekly live interviews. And I'm so happy that it's with you because your story is going to show everyone that is listening how aligning to your born to do and working on your mindset is actually helped you to be more fulfilled in your business. But that's good, that's great, we love it. But
Absolutely.
more than that, and this is how we're going to talk about, I'm already revealing that it also has helped you double your revenue, right?
Absolutely.
Wow. So
Absolutely.
this is the teaser, right? This is me saying what we're going to talk about. So we're going to dive in. We're going to
Okay.
go in. I'm going to ask you questions and we're just going to go with the flow and see what questions come up. And our goal here, and this is the intention that we're really want to, send out to the universe, is that whoever is watching is going to say to themselves, okay, so it's possible. So I can do what I love and make money and be successful with it. So this is our goal. Are you with me
Yeah,
on
for
this
sure.
intention? Yeah?
Absolutely.
Great.
Absolutely.
Amazing.
Yeah.
So let's start because I know you and you know me, and maybe other people are, listening know you, but let's first start by introducing yourself. So who are you? Michelle.
Okay. So let me put it to you this way. Before I used to call myself Michelle Friedman, the life coach or a teacher.
Right.
But since working with you, and it's only been 6 months, 7 months that we've been working together, but during that time, you've helped me tremendously to actually change my mindset, and also, not more importantly, but just as importantly, to say that it's aligning the two passions that I had, which was the teaching and the coaching, together and forming what I now call myself. So I can now introduce myself as the CEO of Michelle's Learning Center,
Woohoo! I love
which
this. Right.
which is
Okay.
such a great feeling to be able to say that and to know that I'm not ignoring one passion for the other,
Right.
but I'm absolutely aligning the two together
Yeah.
and bringing both into the business, which
I
is
love
like
this. I love
amazing,
this. So
amazing,
so
amazing.
let's go back a little because I know that you know your story and I know your story, but I want to give some context. So basically 20 years ago you started teaching, right? Is this how
Right.
it all started?
I came on Aliyah 22 years ago,
Right?
and about 6 months after I came on Aliyah, I started teaching.
Right. And
So
so you
a
were an
little bit
English
longer than,
teacher
yeah.
and you enjoyed it and you loved it and you were an English teacher. And
I
then
loved it. Yeah, and then what happened is I was working in a school system, and then I went and organically I started teaching privately in the afternoons,
right,
um, and that went on for 15 years. And
for
then I left
15
the
years.
school.
Right?
I kept the private teaching going because obviously it was a fantastic form of income,
Right?
even if it is erratic. It is
Right?
still a great form of income,
Right?
and I was enjoying it. So
Right?
why not?
Right. So,
Um,
so basically, you started your journey as an entrepreneur, as an English teacher, giving English lessons to kids after school. That's how you started,
correct,
right?
correct.
And then a few years after, how many years? Was it like 5 years after or
It's about 6 years ago
six
that
years ago?
I left the school and I needed to do something in the morning, and also another way of bringing in income because I felt that unfortunately, and things happen, kids cancel for whatever reason. They're
Right.
sick, or they've got other activities, or TLM, or whatever.
So you had a business giving English lessons, and then you said, let me look for another way to increase my income. Let me
Correct.
look for another way to work in the mornings because I can only give lessons in the afternoon. And then
Yeah.
you turn to something else, which is
I turned to life coaching.
life coaching. Right,
Yeah.
right. So this is
And,
this is something important, and I want to tell you
mm,
why. Because there is a big trend now for life coaching. A lot
mm,
of people are
mm,
turning to coaching as a way to find a fulfilling, way to have a business and to help others, and it's all coming from a very good intention. But a lot of people are finding it difficult to make a living out of being a life coach, right? So that's why your story is important, because you had a business before, you had a life before, you had a profession, you had a career, and then you said, let me try, I love coaching, let me try and get certified in life coaching and start being a coach. But then what happened? So then you wanted to be a coach, and what happened?
right. So I did exactly that. I got the certification. I did the whole thing, and I don't know if it was. I don't want to criticize the course that I did, because it was a fantastic course,
Right.
but maybe it was my misconception, maybe it was my mindset. I don't know, but whatever it was, I just thought, okay, the way to run this business is do marketing, 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 which I, coming from a teaching background, had absolutely no clue
Right.
what I was
And
doing.
so at this point, is it true to say, Michelle, and I think that a lot of people are going to recognize themselves in that. That's why I'm asking those questions.
Mm.
Is it true to say that at this point you had the teaching on one side and the coaching on another side? It was two separate things, right? It was,
Absolutely.
I'm continuing the teaching because it's my profession and it's bringing in income, but you wanted to go towards another direction, which was the coaching, and that's where you saw that it needed a lot of work and a lot of marketing, and then what happened?
It was a fortune of marketing, and then not having that background and having that knowledge. I really fumbled with it, and I can put it in that way. I joined various different courses. I spent a fortune of money. I even traveled to the United States to try and do a week's course on it, and whatever else. And to be quite honest, nothing really happened from it.
Right.
From my marketing, I had a fabulous person doing my marketing for me, but she didn't understand what really life coaching was about, so she couldn't really come from the perspective of saying, okay, maybe you should do this or maybe you should do that.
Right.
She just did what I told her to do, which was
Right.
fine, which was very good, but it wasn't what I really needed. I
Right.
needed somebody who could actually say, well, you're talking about life coaching, it's emotions, it's this, that, and the
Right.
other,
Right.
and it's not just about putting out this or that.
But can we say today that you have like a have a different perspective today? Can we say that
Totally.
no, okay, I was going to say, can we say that the top of the iceberg was that the marketing wasn't working, but can we say today that really the bottom of the iceberg was that maybe it wasn't totally aligned, and maybe it wasn't
It
aligned
wasn't.
with
It wasn't.
so can we say today that when we see that there is resistance in marketing, it's not only because we don't have the right people to help us, or the right budget, or the right message, or that we don't know? It could be it's all of those things, but sometimes it's also because what we're trying to do is not aligned with who we are. And so even if we had unlimited budget and the amazing people to help us, maybe it was more about finding the alignment inside of you before going out and looking for the best outsourcing. Is that something that you find true
Absolutely.
today?
Definitely that, but more also, which brings into something which you're very good at, which is also with life coaches. A lot of people just say, okay, fine, I'm going to be a life coach, and I'm going to coach on grief, and I'm going to coach on divorce, and I'm going to coach on this, and I'm going to coach on that. But they don't realize that the important thing is actually that you have to find your niche. And what is your niche? Your niche is what you're aligned with, which is what you've been talking about all the time. So, and this is also something which I didn't realize how the importance of it. It did come up in my course, there was no question about that. But at the same time, I didn't know what I wanted, and I wanted every client I could get. So, you know, how do you say, what is your specific niche that you're in? The same way as lawyers and doctors have to have a specific field, that they are working in, it applies to coaches as well. And I think
Right.
a lot of people are making the same mistakes that I made,
Exactly.
because
So,
I didn't know where I was going, and then I joined a networking group, and they didn't know how to market me, how to help me,
right,
because what is she? Is she a divorce coach? Is she a transitional life coach? Is she what is she?
right,
It didn't make sense.
right.
So one of the things one of the best decisions I ever made was actually deciding that I needed a business coach to help me, and B, joining your program, and I'll tell you why. Because it gave me clarity on exactly what was my niche, and B, how I could actually start to make money out of what I was doing. So if
Exactly.
I talk about purely from the coaching perspective, that is one thing. But then, of course, with everything else that we worked on together, which is bringing the teaching and the coaching and blending the two together.
Exactly. That's what I wanted to get to. So
Yeah,
at the end, the solution was not to put on the side the teaching, but the
no,
solution was to wave in together the teaching and the coaching, because then you realize that you had been coaching for many years, even you had been using the coaching tool, even if you didn't have a certification, right? But you had been a coach
yeah,
because you had been using those tools for many years. And so it wasn't about, am I a teacher or am I a coach? It was basically using tools to basically provide an experience for the students that are coming, and being yourself, totally yourself, and the teacher and the
absolutely.
coaching, and bringing all the pieces of the puzzle together so that you can really, really be yourself. And so we can say, and
Mm,
this is what
mm,
people say, okay, so I'm going to be myself. I'm going to do what I love. I'm going to put all the pieces of the puzzle together. And then what? And then does it mean I'm going to have a more successful business? Maybe I'm going to be happier. Maybe I'm going to, be, more fulfilled. But, where is the proof that it's going to make me a better, more successful business, meaning making more money? And this is why I'm so
correct.
excited, because what happened next? So you combine the two, you brought the coaching and the teaching together, and then what happened?
Okay. Well, what actually really happened, and this is, I mean, obviously you know this and everything like that, because you and I had so many discussions, and I think a lot of frustration on both our parts on my mindset and where I was going with the whole thing. But it was also, it's not just only about our passions and not only about where our niche is, if it's in the coaching aspect of it, but it's also understanding that you're running a business. Okay, and it's not a so-called hobby. And I always used to call myself, and I often say this to you, is that I'm just a teacher or just a good life coach. And using those words doesn't help.
Yeah.
And so it brings it all down and everything like that. But then, with your help and with working on the mindset, which is, I think, crucial. I think it really is. And once I was able to understand where you were coming from and change my mindset and change where I was going, then I started seeing things really happen in the business.
So what did you see happen? Tell us.
Okay, so what really happened was first of all I started implementing new systems, which you were very pedantic about, and I agree 1,000,000% about it. So to have the systems behind, like if I'm going to employ somebody else to help me in the business, then they're going to come in and then they're going to say, okay, well, what do I do? How do I do it? Where do I find my resource material? Where do I, whatever? So I knew I had to start, first of all, having a manual and start being organized myself before I could bring in anybody else. And I think this is crucial, because then afterwards you don't end up having mistakes, and you don't end up, and there could be expensive mistakes in the end. So, and impact the business in big ways.
Right.
So what happened with me was we started to implement the systems, and then it was an organic thing. It wasn't something I intentionally went out and said, right, I'm going to go and spend X amount on Facebook ads or whatever it was. It was purely an organic thing. I started getting requests for more lessons, and I got more students. And in some cases, parents were phoning me up and saying, I've heard about you. Do you have time when do you have time for my child? He's in whatever grade and whatever.
Right.
And with the system and everything, that I didn't even have these long conversations of trying to convince a parent to, to enroll with me because,
Right.
okay.
Right.
And I employed another teacher, and between us, and we formed this team that really works well together, and it has been amazing that I am getting students constantly getting, every week I get requirements or requests or inquiries
Right.
about
Which was
lessons.
not happening at the same time
No,
last year, because you
no,
have a lot of requests in the beginning of the year, and
yeah,
then in the middle of the year it quiets down because kids are already in school. So you and I are big fans of the law of attraction. I know that we
oh,
share this
totally,
passion.
totally,
And so when I
completely.
hear your story, I feel like it's there is everything. There is the alignment part, there is the mindset part, but I feel
Mm,
like as soon as you changed, as soon as you saw
mm,
yourself as a CEO, as soon as you implemented those systems, as soon as you aligned the coaching and the teaching together so that you were this empowered business owner ready to use all your resources to really serve your clients or your kids, your students, well, this was like ripple effects in the universe, right? It was like
totally, totally.
vibration. Like if the parents had heard this without advertising, without marketing, like you said, you didn't do anything
No,
proactive.
nothing.
It was just like the phone started ringing. The phone started ringing, and you had, I think, eight. Was it eight more, or is it more? Eight more students were in the beginning.
No, 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 no. It's much more.
Oh, okay.
Um, from December, if I take from December's figures to now, I've had 17 new students.
17.
Yeah, yeah, it's huge. It's huge.
Huge. This is huge. This is huge. And the funny part is that in the beginning, when you came to me, you kept on saying, we need to work on marketing. We need to work
Yeah,
on marketing. We need to work on marketing, right? Because every entrepreneur wants to work on marketing because we think that marketing is going to bring us more clients. And I kept on saying,
correct.
let's first align, let's first structure. And then the clients came without marketing.
Totally. I mean, I don't even have a proper business card. I don't have a website. I don't have any of that stuff. None of that stuff.
Right,
I got
right.
for the coaching because that's where I thought was going, but
Right.
I've had nothing for the language school, and I've never had.
So that's exactly why I really wanted you to give your, your journey, to share your journey and to give
Yeah,
your feedback on how working on the internal stuff, right, which is alignment, which is mindset, which is structuring the business, which is preparing everything, has consequences on the external stuff. And people get, vibrations are getting to them, and people get the memo somehow, and they pick up the phone and they say, hey, we heard that you're a great teacher, do you still have room for us?
right.
So in terms of revenue, what does it mean? Does it mean double from last year? What does it mean?
My figures for January definitely were double, and we'll continue to see. I'll be able to now compare because we're now in a new year and a new quarter and all the rest of it. So we'll be able to see what happens.
But your
Um,
month of January of this year, it has nothing to do with the month of January of last year.
no, not at all, not at all.
Amazing.
Totally,
Amazing.
totally. And having this other teacher has been an amazing thing. I would never have thought of employing anybody, because I kept on saying,
You were just a teacher,
I
right?
was just a teacher, and I'm not going to give somebody half my income or part of my income. Why would I want to do that?
Right,
You know.
right,
But I've been able to structure my business completely differently because I've got this other person there,
right.
and
And also accept more students. You're also able
and
to
well, that's part of it. That's been a very big factor. Is that now I can say, instead of saying, "Oh, I'm full," which is what I would have done before, I can now say, "Okay, fine, not a problem. She
I
can
think
teach
you
on
can
this time and that time, and I can do the other."
So I want to ask you two questions, and then we're going to end because we want to our listeners to really get the essence of what happened to you. Because if
Yeah.
someone is recognizing themselves in your story, I want to ask you, what do you think was the most difficult for you in that process of realignment or mindset or the systems? Like, what was the most challenging for you to overcome? And can you pinpoint to the part that was really the most difficult? Do you have a clarity around that? What was the most difficult, maybe
I
emotionally?
think if I look back on the journey of the last 7 months, I think that the main criteria has been mindset.
The mindset.
I think it's been very much the mindset, because once you have the right mindset, then implementing the systems comes with that mindset. Employing somebody else comes with that mindset. The way you present yourself to others also comes with the mindset. I don't go around calling myself just the teacher anymore, or just the coach.
Right.
And
The mindset was the most difficult, and was what made the most different for you.
Definitely. It was frustrating at times. It was hard for me to understand your perspective and to see what you were trying to get me to see.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely.
So in the beginning, it was more like a blurry, right? In the beginning, it was.
Yeah, it was complete fog, and that's the whole point. And that's the same, like I said, about the niche of not knowing where I wanted to go, and trying to sort of grab onto any business that I could.
Right.
I sort of now have clarity and understand that some people are not for me.
Right.
And the same as I am not for some people.
Right.
And that's okay. That's fine.
Right. And so the second and last question that I want to ask you is, if someone is watching us and is recognizing themselves in your story and is also facing this challenge, and maybe as a coach and doesn't know how to make money from it, or maybe feels that there is something not aligned, or maybe doesn't know how to structure their business. I mean, all the things that you've spoken about. What would you say to someone what would be your advice in terms of the alignment, the belief in the alignment? People don't really believe that it's going to really become money at the end. We think that when we speak about alignment, it's about being fulfilled and being happy, but we don't really see the connection with making more money or having more clients. So what would you say to someone who has a hard time believing that this is really the case, that when you work on alignment and mindset, it translates into money? What would you say to someone who has a hard time believing in that?
I think if they're having a hard time, if somebody is having a hard time with them, I would strongly advise them to go and get help. And help will be, in this case, getting a business coach like yourself. Right. That for me has been the most important decision. If I have to look back and say over the last 20 years, this has been the most important decision I've made. And why? Why do I say that? Because I went all the other routes. I did all the other things. I've got the Facebook group. I've got the LinkedIn page. I paid for Facebook ads in the past. I've joined other courses and done things to do purely with marketing. But at the end of the day, it's getting somebody who understands you and who has a perfect understanding of the knowledge of how to run a business and what goes into a business and all the different aspects that maybe you're not even aware of or not even know how to do or what to do. So it brings a whole picture together. And from that, because you have the whole picture together and you are comfortable with where you are in your mind process, your thought process is that this is something I can do, and this is why I can do it, and this is how I can do it, and this is what I need to do in order to be able to get where I want to go. It's not going to be something that's going to happen from one day to the next. It's definitely not. But with the hard work and with working with somebody who can hold your hand and push you through the things and give you the stuff that, as you often say to us, what you don't know, you don't know. And yeah, so but then, okay, so I don't know this, but then I've got to know it in order to move my business forward. So I need somebody who's going to teach me or show me or give me the material that I can learn and read or whatever it is.
Exactly.
So
and
it's getting somebody to help you.
And I'm so first of all, thank you for everything you're saying, and I'm really grateful.
No, but thank you for all your help. I mean, really, I would not be where I am today, and I mean this.
Yeah,
from the bottom of my heart, because
thank you, Michelle.
I could not believe it when I saw my figures.
It's really an honor to be with you on this journey, and I understand so much what you're saying. First, because I'm seeing it, so many times again and again, but also because this is what I've done for myself. And so I don't believe that there is no one doesn't, everyone needs someone else, because mindset is the only thing that you cannot do on yourself. And so in order for me to give to others, I had to do it on myself. I had to have this person that was, the person that opened my mindset. And then when you speak now, you're going to also be able to help other people, opening their mindset, and so on and so forth.
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
it's a fact of we cannot do it on our own, and this is the only thing that if we could have done it on our own, we would have. That's the thing, right? We would have.
Well, yeah, and I did try that. I tried that for 6 years, and thousands of dollars later, I got nowhere. So
Wow.
yeah, yeah,
Thank you
yeah.
so much, Michelle. I think that, the people that are going to listen to this are going to hopefully see that it's possible. They're going to believe that doing what you're born to do and being aligned with who you are is the right way, not only to feel fulfilled and to bring your gifts to the world, but also to make more money. Because I'm reminding everyone that you've doubled your revenue and you've had more students than you never had in a time of the year
Mm.
where you didn't have before. And so we know that, the law of attraction is listening and feeling your vibration and translating them to people. And, it's not, we don't even need marketing. We need marketing after, when we want to grow more. But as soon as we
Absolutely.
are aligned, and as soon as we know that we are doing exactly what we're supposed to do, then we are just, the people around us see it. People around us feel it, and they come to
Mm.
us and they hear about us, and they want to work with us. And those are the vibrations that we are actually providing to everyone around us. So thank you so much for sharing your journey. Thank you.
Thank you for giving me the opportunity.
Thank you. And I can't wait to see where this is going to take you. And for me, the sky's the limit. You're the
Yeah,
CEO of the Michelle Learning Center, and we've seen in your visions how this can be a huge business that can even double, triple, quadruple in terms of revenue and number of students. And so now that you know that it's, the mindset, well, it's just about, going up and up and up in the mindset.
absolutely, absolutely,
And that's it.
absolutely.
And that's it. So,
And thanks for being on my journey with me. It's really helped.
thank you, Michelle. Have a great day. And I hope that this was helpful for everyone else. And we'll see you next week for the next weekly live interview with
Yeah.
another entrepreneur. Thank you so much, Michelle. Thank
Thanks,
you.
Natalie.
Have a good
Take care.
Bye bye.
Bye.